Hey, what's going on, everyone? So, a topic that I've been thinking about a lot these last few months, amidst all of the amazing games that have come out this year, is how I'm still so fascinated by the ones on the opposite side of things. Games like Lord of the Rings Gollum or Walking Dead Destinies, and of course Skull Island Rise of Kong. Each one of them going toe-to-toe to see what can claim that top spot of the worst game of 2023, which is a crowning achievement to have, as we all know. I know that it's smart not to play them, and it would most likely be a waste of time, but I still kind of want to experience them on my own to really know what they're like. And it's not like I can't do that, but it isn't as easy to do with games as it is with bad movies or bad TV shows. Gollum has now dropped to around $25 for the physical edition and $30 for digital. Rise of Kong is at about $20 for digital and $30 for physical, and Walking Dead Destinies is still relatively new, so it's at the $50 price point on both. And sure, at some point, maybe one or more of them will end up on Game Pass or PlayStation Premium, or maybe drop even further in a sale, but by then they might be completely irrelevant and that morbid curiosity would have passed. Now that I am saying this out loud, I realize what I'm basically saying is that I wish game rentals were still a thing. Maybe they are, but I know in the past my experiences with services like GameFly were not worth it to me, and no local stores that I know of still let you rent games, let alone new ones. I think I've heard that Redbox was a good place for that, but I can't speak to that either. And yeah, games aren't the same medium as movies. They can sometimes take over 10 hours or way more than that to get through them, and putting them for rent online like movies do for $5.99 for 48 hours or something similar to that might not be financially viable, but I would love to have some kind of option in that vein. The amount of games I would play would probably rise exponentially. And hey, I would also go from spending nothing on them to giving them at least a few dollars each. And I don't need them to do it like as soon as the games are released. I think the way movies are being handled now is better than it's ever been. If you want to experience it in theoretically the best format, you can go see it in the theater at a higher price point. But if you want to wait to see it in the comfort of your own home, then you can do that in just a few weeks to a month or a few months later down the road and get it at a lower price. And there's that third option of the premium on demand where you can rent them at the higher price in the comfort of your own home as well. But okay, let's move out of this world of hypotheticals and get back to the main point of all of this, which is that I simply wish I could explore my morbid curiosity in games more than I currently feel like I can. And that doesn't only go for bad games. The same goes for games that have gotten great reviews, but I simply can't justify paying another $60 for. The biggest one for me this year has been RoboCop Rogue City. I would love to play that game, but in the past month or two, I've already bought Spider-Man 2 and Alan Wake 2 and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And yeah, it's only been a little over a month since RoboCop Rogue City came out, so it is still at full price, and it's no easier to get it now than it was last month. It would probably have to drop to like $30 or less for me to even think about getting it, and who knows when that might happen. But by the time that happens, maybe Armored Core will drop to $30, which is the one I couldn't justify buying in the first place. And so RoboCop kind of goes another couple months before I think about getting it. But then here comes something like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and RoboCop falls even further down until maybe I don't even remember it anymore. I mean, this isn't like a huge problem or anything. I'll never actually be sad that there are too many games to play and not enough time or money to get through them all, because that's just never going to happen to begin with. The main difference is that when it comes to catching up on movies or TV shows from the year, I could spend the rest of December focusing only on that, and I could cover a significant amount of the things I wasn't able to see earlier in the year. But I can't do that with games. I guess in many ways, it's kind of like a buffet. You have the pick of whatever you want with the space you have in your day, in your brain, in your stomach, and you just have to choose wisely. But that still kind of sucks sometimes. Like, yeah, last time I came to the buffet, I only wanted pizza and chicken wings, so it was really easy, but today I kind of want a little bit of everything. And sure, that also reflects a little bit on my personality. If someone ever gives me two options for anything, you should know that internally I'm slowly disintegrating like Chidi does in The Good Place.
Dangerous path. If you can't make a choice, this whole neighborhood could fall apart.
So when I have 3 options or 4 or 100, yeah, no. I will just continue to scroll YouTube and Reddit instead and not play anything because that is just way too much for me to deal with. I really don't want this to come off as a whiny complaining video. I just wish that games were as easy to access as movies are, and they might be. I know plenty of people who find watching movies to be the most meandering waste of time in the world to them, but they love playing games and they probably have way less of an issue about all of this than I do, and I think that is super cool. I can only speak from how I feel about it, and this was just something that's been on my mind, and I figured why not let it out as if this mic was my therapist. Speaking of which, I've been meaning to find a new therapist for like over half a year now, and every week that goes by, I just kind of feel my essence inside me slowly turning into Slimer. I really need to do something about that soon before it's too late. But that's all I've got for this one. I hope you found something enjoyable from this. If you feel the same way or you don't, I'd love to talk to you about how you feel about just gaming in general and where it's at nowadays, and if you would change anything or if you think it's good how it is. But yeah, I hope you're all doing great and taking care of yourselves. I hope to see you all in the next one, and until then, bye everybody.